Folks, welcome back to the DNR podcast. I'm your host, one of the best background characters in season 41 of The Challenge, Vets and New Threats, Ben the Bane Davis, alongside my amazing co-host, Riley Osborne. And today's episode was a juicy one, but maybe not in the elimination sense, right? The conclusion of this episode wasn't the focal point of it, I would say. But Riley, macro thoughts overall. What did you think of episode 3 titled, I Am the Challenge?
Yeah, it was definitely a lackluster finish to the episode. That bothered me a little when I was like, oh, so all this build up and no challenge at the end, like no elimination.
Where my Elim at?
Yeah, exactly. I like CT, man. I just hit him on camera. The more I see him, the more I like him.
Yeah.
And again, Bananas is hilarious. I mean, he is a great character. He plays that well. Sorry for everybody that's watching. I'm just in my kitchen due to some. This mic is whack heavy, but
that's huge.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But we'll make it work for this episode. Yeah, it was good. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with this episode. Again, like we're seeing some of these alliances build, a little bit of Bane.
Yeah.
I'm happy though because we gave a great insight into Gabe last week.
Yep.
And it just perfectly came to fruition. So that is just another example of if you're tuned into this podcast, make sure to stay tuned in because we have some scoops and we've been given just enough to not get us copyrighted, but keep it exciting. Again, thanks for all the support from everybody. We're over 1,000 listens every single episode for a brand new show. That's pretty special.
200 subs. We just cracked 200 subs 10 minutes ago.
That's
so we're building,
awesome.
Baby.
So thank you, everybody. Yes. Actually, Ben, I thought we should talk about this very briefly before we dive in. Unfortunately, the show is now going to be $1,000 a month. So we're moving it over to Patreon.
It's the Elite Platinum tier, $9.99.99. Nothing. You don't get anything more. Actually, you just get
the same show.
It's actually less. We're going to be recording a more condensed version, but charging more. You know, that's media.
Okay, let's dive into it, Ben. That's a good intro. So obviously, right off the bat, new partner. I imagine not as much thought is going into these new partners as the last couple because it's starting to seem as though you're switching up every episode.
Yeah, it's switching up every episode, and your sort of group of opposite stripes that you can select from is getting limited, right? And me coming in, not the most advantageous spots in these challenges makes it even fewer options I have. But here's the little selection from your boy.
All right, Ben. It only makes sense to get
All right.
First things first. First things first.
the 9.
People were giving you shit about never turning off the broadcaster, half of you.
Yeah.
They're right. I want you to know that. Because I was watching this and I was like, Ben, shut the fuck up for 1 sec.
Coming from the world of sports broadcasting,
The 9-time champion. It's like, dude, shut up.
All right.
I'm kidding. I thought
Why is it pausing?
I loved that. I thought that.
Hold on, I don't know why it was pausing so much.
Whatever. They get it.
Okay, here's the thing. They condensed that a little bit. So the spiel that I had when I selected Cara Maria was I said, TJ, I've got 1 point on the board. Next week, I really am gunning for that top spot, which would bring me to 9 points overall. So it only makes sense that I get a 9-time finalist, a 2-time champ, Cara Maria. Come on over here. So there was like a cute little, I had a cute little thing prepared, and it,
Ben,
most things, it's not there.
I love your broadcasting. Don't get me wrong. It's just they are butchering it on your behalf. Like the producers don't give a fuck about it apparently because they have been really fucking you up along the way, which is not your fault. But
no, I think it is. I actually take full accountability. I definitely looking back and I was like, so much, especially this episode. But either way, neither here nor there. Me and Cara Maria, we link up, and I'm excited about this because if you remember from episode 0, it was me, Cara, D, and Turbo slightly in front of us that were all running down the mountain together. So I spent 2 uninterrupted hours right next to her having this excellent excellent teamwork vibe organically be created. She was incredibly encouraging, very motivational, and I just felt like we bounced off of each other well in a in a teamwork sense. Inside this house, I was like, I think her skills complement mine, and so finally this week, dude, I get to partner with her, and I don't know. This was the week where I was like, yeah, it's time to show up. Like, I was telling myself from that moment where I got to partner with her, this is the week I'm going to put on a big performance, and it's Ben's time, Which,
you're going to lock in.
yeah, I haven't been locked in yet up until this point. I've been kind of like, chillaxed. But this week, I'm locking in.
But let's get to the challenge itself, because so you've all got your partners. You're looking at this, and right away, again, I would say, it's hard to say because a lot of these, they look like sprints on paper, but when I feel like I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, it's like I'm watching this. You're jumping down. What do we think? A 500-meter swim? Not that you know what a meter is. Let's say four football
500
field.
meters.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so like
500 meters.
500. 500 meters. I'm kidding. I'm just teasing.
I know what
I'm kidding. Oh my god. Sorry guys, I'm in a roast Ben mood this morning, I guess. I'm kidding. I love you, Ben.
Yeah.
No, so we're thinking 500-meter swim, which is blowing out your lats, especially if you're not a swimmer. I mean, I'm sure some avid swimmer in the comments could be like, no, it's fine. But if you're not a swimmer, you've got a life jacket on, which it seemed like about half of you did. Yeah. Your lats are going to be pretty blown out by the time you get to a rock wall, which is obviously, again, unless you're a good climber. I understand that climbing is supposed to be from the legs. But again, you're not a freaking rock climber. You don't know that. So you're, again, blowing out your lats. So it seems like there was a lot of strategy where it's, take your sweet time getting there and get up, unless you're Jeremy, who just teleports places because he's such a freak. But yeah, talk to me, Ben, about what you were feeling, because that's how it looked. It looked like it was actually quite strenuous just from that distance to the actual rock wall itself.
And what's crazy, that point on Jeremy, he actually dove into the water, and then for 500 meters didn't come up. He like Aquaman, he just, the entire time to the rock wall. And then when he got to the rock wall, he he was just one-handed. Jumped, right? He actually jumped from the water all the way to the top, grabbed the flag midair, and then did like a front flip into the shipping container. And then he didn't even
solved the puzzle alone.
Exactly. Yeah. His partner didn't even get off the platform. It was incredible. So the swim was quite long. And I will say this, context, before Cara, me, Justin, and Olivia even got going, we were late in the day. I mean, this was a period where every team had about 20 minutes to complete it, and then there was another 20, 30 minutes after each heat had gone to sort of reset and transport the teams down to where they would sort of start. And I want to make the note that this wasn't shown in the edit, but we weren't told that first time you fall, you're DQ'd. Obviously, that was an editing decision for time, which makes a lot of sense. I get that completely. But that wasn't the experience that we had. And so to the point where I swim this kind of lengthy distance. And what's funny is I actually felt really good about my swim. Justin, excellent swimmer. He was a little bit in front of me, but I wasn't that far behind him. You know what I mean? So I was like,
do you swim often? No. Do you swim growing up?
I've swam. I was a lifeguard.
No, but I mean, do you think, would you consider yourself like a decently avid swimmer of any kind?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't. Everything about this daily challenge, I wouldn't consider myself avid at. I was like, I have swam maybe twice in the last year, and I've gone bouldering about 6 times. Yeah.
So that's why when I was watching it, I was like, I hate this challenge. I would suck at this challenge. I would literally get to the wall and be like, well, I'm tall, thankfully, so I tend to do decently on stuff like that, but I hate rock climbing. I hate it. I don't know why. I just have a personal beef with it. And I have close family that's really into it, and I always try to go to be like, hell yeah, every time I'm like, I hate this.
Because it's hard, and I think that this wasn't really done justice. I've got the full heat here if you want to watch it, but this was about a 44-foot rock wall, which is tall. You had about 9 feet submerged, a 53-foot shipping container that they've turned into this rock wall, and about 9 feet submerged, 43 feet up in the air. And so you swim from all the way back here, and then come all the way around, battling the current, which was bad at this point in the day, and then take off the life jacket and start the ascent. What I was saying a moment ago is we had to wait so late in the day. Our heat was one of the later ones, and so we're just up on, there was a little viewing area that you saw multiple times up on that side. We're just getting cooked in the sun. Getting dehydrated.
They don't have
watching.
a tent?
There was like a little bit of a tent that had been
just not much.
Structured, but not much. And like most of the time when the heat was going on, you were out there watching, trying to see. And so I am obviously on this orange side of the wall. Justin on the blue kills me on the rock wall. Just speeds all the way up. And what's really frustrating is he was like, I've never gone rock climbing before. And just kills me in it. I remember hearing him like higher than me on the opposite side.
Wow, this is really easy.
How you doing, Ben? This is a walk in the park. I'm just like,
I'm a natural at this.
Yeah. I love Justin, man. Again, this was a body awareness. Like rock climbing is very body awareness focused, and so it makes sense that he's a natural at it. I got to a pretty like high point on the rock wall, which I'll pull it to us here. And I was like on pretty okay pace. Like Justin had jumped in. I'm literally like 3 handholds away. This is a couple feet from the top. I have ascended the majority of this fucking rock wall. There you can see fucking Gabe over here in the background. He's just
waiting.
What is he doing,
Ominously,
bro? Just solo off.
He's just pissed off.
He's just fucking, I'm mad. Here's where I made an error. So this handhold right here, and I think you might be able to see it in... So this was the most narrow handhold, like fucking ever. This one way deeper. And so I realized that I'd sort of gone up maybe the wrong side. I was like, shit, I don't know if I have the arm strength because of the swim, because of climbing up. I was like, everything's kind of blown up right now. To your point earlier about rock climbing being way more legs than arms, I didn't realize that as much. Yeah. And so like I'd really been using my arms to pull myself up, which worked until this point. And so you see me kind of try and test the waters of getting over onto this right side. And that's ultimately where things kind of fall because, it's
And what
not great.
made you want to do this part? Because, your partner in this scenario, Cara Marie, right? That's how you pronounce it?
Cara Maria, yeah.
I mean, she's fit. She's a beast. So what made you want to pick to do the more physically active half, I guess?
It was a conversation that her and I'd had while we were watching teams attempt this time and time again. She didn't want to do the climbing, and so I elected to. I was like, look, I got this. I feel confident. I was in a position where I didn't want to... Truthfully, I was like, I don't want to take the easy route here. I don't want to do the puzzle. I want to be able to prove to myself. I want to be able to prove to everybody watching up there on that fucking ridge. I wanted to prove to Cara that, like, I can bring not just maybe the smarts and the fun energy, but, like, the actual physical skills that match these other male rookies or male vets. And that's ultimately what it boiled down to. I was like, look, okay, you don't really vibe with the climbing. Let me take that. And that was a bad idea. That was a very poor decision. And, with her, like, 9-time finalist, 2-time champion, I think this was her 15th or 16th season. She's probably a lot more upper body. I would say upper body, stronger in upper body than me. So maybe it would have been smarter to just be like, hey, how about you do it? But that's, I don't know. I really wanted this to be the week that I proved what I could do. And what sucks is to get so fucking close to the top and then, and not be able to. Like, that's why. So that was the first fall. And then the next 4 times I tried to climb this mountain, I just would get lower and lower on the rock wall. I'd slip sooner and sooner. And I remember after the 20 minutes were up, the last time actually that I tried to climb it, I waited till the last minute. I told TJ, I was like, okay, give me like 60 seconds. I'm going to try and blitz up this thing and at the very least get into the shipping container, which presented a number of problems for other people that we'll touch on quickly after I continue complaining about my experience. But I was like, I just want to get to the top of this, and it's not fun to fail. I think I remember the last time that I failed, I swam over to the puzzle podium, which Kara crushed. She killed the puzzle. She got it done in like 30, 45 seconds. It was so quick. And I just kind of sat there, and I did cry for like a minute or two. Because I was just so, the reason why, and they haven't shown me crying. I did cry a good amount in the house, and after some of these tough results, because I'm really passionate about my performance, and I believed and know that, I could do better and just didn't, and that sucks to, a severe extent. So, and what also is annoying about this is Justin and Olivia, they win the daily challenge, and we were on pace to be, a minute or two right behind him. And so if I had just fucking finished this, then Kara and I would have come in at worst third, second or third. And that also bruised me a bit, because I was like, man, this... Yeah, it should have been a really breakthrough day, I think, for me, and it wasn't. And that sucks, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like people definitely don't realize how hard. I mean, I'm the same way, but you are on yourself and stuff like that. Even with even with work, it's like you mispronunciate one word, and it's like I'm so pissed when I do it, Yeah. And I'm sure you're the same way, but yeah, I mean, I guess that because it was tough to watch, because I could see that you were doing that, right? When you were like, I'll take the hard half. Let me do this. Let me show, and then when it doesn't
pan out, then
it's like, it almost feels doubly worse, because you feel like, you're proving the wrong thing. But I mean, whatever. Those who try succeed,
it's like I
right?
did.
Yeah,
I absolutely did. It's not even a matter of opinion or I said or she said. It's like I fucked up and cost us points, cost us placement, cost us, potentially safety for her. It's a girls' day, and yeah. But here's the good news: is half the team's DQ'd as well.
Yeah.
Fucking half the team's DQ'd, because what occurred for most people that either didn't fall off the shipping container, but when you got in there, they weren't able to swim out. There were multiple people, Derek K, Aviv.
Were they trying to swim out with their life jacket on?
I think there were some people that fucked up and tried to swim. They jumped in with the life jacket, tried to swim with the life jacket, which, yeah, that's not going to work. 9 feet. It's submerged 9 feet. That's quite the distance. But so what would happen is after you scream help, then they'd raise the shipping container and you'd be able to, safely exit.
But you're DQ'd.
Then you're DQ'd.
Okay.
And so for Kara and I, this is why I said a couple days ago about somebody had I don't know, the quickly after the episode, someone was like, here's the placements. And I was like, that's a bit misleading, because even though we were lined second to last, right, 15th place, we were all on the equal DQ playing field. It's not like one person's DQ was lesser than the other DQ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the cool part is none of it mattered anyways, because it was Naya, right, had an MRI,
Yep.
and I put tinfoil hat on, bing. I think they had that MRI result the whole time. I think they had it the whole time. They knew that they were going to get to the elimination, and they were just going to auto-eliminate her. But if they didn't do that, they have no episode.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird, because other than the points, the whole episode was moot. Like, it didn't matter, because she was always going to be eliminated that whole time. Yeah. And even if the MRI isn't movie magic and they only got it right when
shortly before, whatever. Yeah.
Even then, it's like, I don't know. It was just a very weird vibe, in my opinion. And I did find, I thought they should have let Gabe go for it, because he at least would have been able to get himself some points.
I think it would have been funny to just be like, all right, Nia, you're
Because
medically
he could have
unable to
completed it
compete.
alone. Half the team's
Yeah.
DQ. So who cares if he's the slowest? He's still getting points.
And that,
So I thought that was
and, like,
weird.
It would have. I mean, it would have. What a crazy world it would have been if he comes first, and then him and Nia are safe, and then the entire episode is changed and the complexion is different, right? And that was after the first couple heats where people DQ'd and they DQ'd and they DQ'd. You know what me and Cara and Justin and Olivia were saying. We were like, just finish. If you just finish, you're getting points. And so, yeah, to that effort, it's like, look, we're all here. Fuck it. Why not just give 20 minutes, let him rip it? But I want to ask you this question. And it was tough for me because I had just partnered with Nia, and I had a really great experience with her. I felt she was encouraging, supportive, everything that I want in a partner, and work together well. And now, this is a bad situation on all sides. Gabe, and we'll pick up right where we left off last week with Gabe, takes things to the 11th degree and, again, lights himself on fire. But, and this is something I'm seeing online, was he justified? Was Gabe right? Because his main crux was, she's going to anchor me, she's going to pull me down, and at the end of the day,
That's
they
exactly what
lost. Right. So what's your thought with that?
Well, it's very simple, right? In the context of the game, which is cutthroat, which is the point of like eliminating each other. Yeah, you're going to be pissed. And when he was saying that, I don't think he knew if it was a boys' day or a girls' day, did he? Because it was back-to-back girls' eliminations.
Yeah.
So, and they're obviously keeping that under wraps. So he thinks he's going in here with a clipped wing. He thinks he's probably up for elimination, which she ended up being up for elimination. In fact, tinfoil hat back on. I would be shocked if they didn't choose a double woman if it wasn't just to eliminate her instead of to just like do this. Shit, she's off the show, whatever. Because that would kind of ruin the perfect dynamic they have set up for it. So again, it goes back to, I think that he's looking in the mirror going, I am screwed now. You know, I'm SOL, and here I am. So yes, was it political? No. Right?
Yeah.
He should not have been running around the house
Telling everyone that my partner sucks and I hate this.
Dude, I hate her. I can't even believe this. Like, yeah, that's not very political. And also, I think it goes back to, once they've started to switch up the teams, people are way less aligned with their teammates.
100%.
Because they're like, whatever, I'm just going to grind through today, and then you can go, like, kick rocks, like, get away from me afterwards. Because they don't seem to care that much about the blowback or the potential blowback.
Especially at this point in the game, because it's still so early, the easier choices, whether it be for nomination or sending someone to the arena, right, is just whoever comes last, and then whatever they want, I guess we can all congregate around that, This isn't a point in the game where, like, the lines in the sand are super defined. And I think it's very funny that Gabe... Again, because I had the pleasure of rooming directly above Gabe, I was around him, and he was bitching nonstop and complaining, and it was so funny how quickly it it left our room and just made its way around the entire house. And I did, like, it's not like I helped him in that sense. And that's why it's weird that Gabe was so loose-lipped, because it's like, how are you bitching about Nia to the guy who was just partnered with Nia? Like, what did you think I was going to do?
Did you leak it, Ben? Did you tell?
I chatted with Nia about it. And
Amazing how quickly it got out. I told everybody.
How did everybody know about this?
Dude, that is so funny.
It's like the SpongeBob meme where it's a photo of him in the back, and he's just like... Guys, we're looking
Spider-Man
for the perpetrator
meme?
here.
Who told everybody this?
And so, like, I And because of the compounding errors that Gabe had made the first week of spreading this, taking accountability for spreading this rumor about Justin, now shitting on Nia, and creating this huge firestorm for no reason. And, then it gets worse, but we'll get there when we get there. It made me really rethink my relationship with him, because coming into the house, there was this thought that, man, he's a 6'4", 5" monster. He's going to be such a key asset to have. He's probably going to sweep a lot of these physical dailies, and that it's a number, right? You're always looking for numbers, and so like coming into the house, I thought that would be a good guy to have in the network, and then within like 9 days, I was like, I got to get away from this guy. He's bringing the ship down.
Had you been building that relationship a little bit? Because obviously he feels comfortable enough to go up to you and say, I hate my teammate.
yeah. Because me and Jake were rooming with them. That's a lot of where his comfort was derived from, which I think, and this is a greater thought on how this season is working, a lot of people were operating with just the rooms that they were in to a certain degree.
Just proximity.
Exactly. And we'll talk about that when we get to the nomination, because America and Johnny is something that came and originated from one fucking room and nobody else could corroborate it. But we'll get there when we get there. But yes, because we were living with Gabe, he just would talk and talk and talk and talk. And there was a level of me trying to keep the peace and lie and to his face be like, nah, man, like I'm on your side. Because I don't want enemies in the house this early,
game.
Right?
That's the game.
But I just thought it was very dumb of him, and they show that, and Nia chews him out, and it was way worse in person than.
So
than
did
the
she
edit
just
even
go
makes it.
in on him?
Tore him apart for I would say 10 minutes more than what the edit showed. And I wasn't down there when it was occurring. I was outside, but there was a group of cast members.
It is kind of tough that she rips this guy for 20 minutes and then immediately is eliminated.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like, it's, again, in my opinion, I understand her being upset, but fundamentally, she doesn't seem to be able to have any understanding of why he was upset. But why he was upset was perfectly validated at the end of the show. Like, he really, I guarantee this guy thought he was going home,
Yeah.
And the thing is if it hadn't been a girls' day, magically, wow, that was so convenient. If that hadn't been the case, he would have had a 50% chance of going home. I mean, yeah, you're going to be pretty lit up about that. You're going to be pretty frustrated about that. So I kind of feel like there was a bit of maybe too much from her, because that to me too. I sort of be yapping here, Ben, but like to me, if I was pissed and then my teammate comes and yells at me for 20 minutes, like I would not be chill with that. I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" I would be like, "What are you talking about? Like, do you think this is making this better right now?" Like, so it was just weird. The whole thing seemed like no political know-how or navigating. Like, neither of them took the high road, except for Gabe, honestly, at the end. He was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." But he didn't have to actually do that.
No, and I think that, he should have stood on business a little bit more.
100%.
Because when he's getting chewed out by Nia, you just see him, dejected on the couch, not even making eye contact, and just being like, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is it was weird. It was like, bro, double down. Exactly. Why are you... Obviously, this quote-unquote betrayal has happened, right?
Yeah.
And now you can either continue this path and be seen as probably stronger in some regard, or get bitched out and capitulate immediately. And now now you're the hangnail, and everyone's looking at you like, oh, I can just yell at this guy and it's chill, So it's I don't know, it's just weird. And then the day before, he's going toe to toe with Will. Now that wasn't shown on air, but he's obviously has that confrontational bone, and obviously a lot of tinfoil hat for me right now, but I imagine it might have something to do with her being like a woman, that maybe he was less comfortable with the confrontation. Maybe he was just uncomfortable in that regard, but I don't know. Something happened here where this guy completely folds when he was more than comfortable with confrontation minutes before. Maybe it was the tequila. Maybe Nia's that intimidating person. I don't know, but it was just a very different vibe from him.
I don't know if I agree totally with that. I think different context in both arguments here. And I think for Gabe, he felt like, he got caught with his pants down a bit and was getting scolded, and there wasn't really room for him to make that a back and forth. More
Yeah, but
of
look how
him just
Derek
accepting.
moved, right? Derek was like,
Yeah.
sorry, bro. Cry about it. Get over it.
I'll vote you in next week.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it was
Yeah.
at least he stood on business. At least he was don't be a pussy about it. So
Yeah.
that's my thing is if you're gonna take that route, you got to take that route.
And we will talk about Gabe being the hangnail and what that could present for him at the conclusion of this. But I want to talk about Derek Chavez's birthday party because we get some snippets from it. It's one of the instances where we're all at the house and there is a lot of alcohol and a fun vibe where I think Banana says it in the confessional. We're not talking game. We're not talking politics. We're all just, in a big community celebrating Derek. This is one thing that was not shown of me that I'm very sad about. So you get like me clinking with my fun little hat on, and then you see a couple snippets of me in the background during the roast, and I'm shirtless, wearing a green wig, hammered. The process of me getting to that point where I go from Ben with his cool hat and he's double fisting to me calling myself a Chilean hooker named Jasper, who's been sent to the house to make everyone have a good time. That wasn't shown, and I'm a little bit bummed about it because it was a fun day, and I was like, that's a side of me that didn't get to have any representation or airtime. I guess they asked Derek Chavez about it in one of his confessionals and then just chose not to show that for whatever reason. I get that there's more compelling storylines. That's kind of been why I feel a good chunk of whatever I've said, done, haven't done, isn't shown, is just because there's other interesting things. But I'm bummed that Jasper, the Chilean hooker, is lost media at this point.
Yeah, but that is a good tee. Because I thought that was going to be there too. And especially in an episode like this where it's like I said, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Yeah. This was essentially a hour-long Nia's injured. And here we're going to do a bunch of shit in between that. But really it was weird. It was weird. So I guess we'll go to that. In that party, are people talking shop at all? People having fun? What's the vibe? Because, again, you said that people aren't really mentioning strategy at this point.
Mainly just fun. It was a nice break from all of the bullshit. The Olivia and Johnny stuff was heated, and for that birthday party, it was just nice for everybody to put pause on shit.
Are they beefing this whole time? Just the day-to-day? Are they digging? Are they shooting shots at each other? What's that look like?
I wouldn't say that there is this 24/7, complete exchange of fire every moment they pass each other. There's just a lot of moments of, I would just say, pass by each other in the hall and don't say anything. At this party, on different sides of it, hanging out with different people, right? It's not this constant back and forth that it's portrayed as, but whenever
but the beef is real.
Beef is real, and there was a I don't know. It seems like it's still going after the season's ended, after Olivia and Theo went on his podcast, Death, Taxes, and Bananas. It seems like the beef is still going, so not resolved in any way, shape, or form. But I think the other thing from Derek's birthday party that wasn't shown that is worth chatting about a little bit is the roast. So Cara Maria, she dresses up as Carl and does this roast where it's a fun, taking digs at everybody. You can tell how far we are in a season by how much of CT's jawline you can see. Fun little things like that. Sydney also does a roast, and it's not shown at all in this episode. And I don't know specifically why, but I remember that she just went in on every cast member, literally just went around that room and just bitched at every single person and was cruel. Like there wasn't
And
any
they just
comedy.
completely cut it
They
out.
just axed it out completely. So she's probably thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna have my badass girl moment. I'm gonna take bites out of everybody. I'm gonna chew the whole house up." And then the editor is just like, "Delete."
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that or the Chilean hooker that is Ben. I don't. They're both gone.
They're getting left on the cutting room floor.
So give me an example though. Give me something like. Do you remember what she said about you?
I was so drunk.
Oh, okay. Do you remember what she said about anyone?
No.
okay.
Listen, she's got her Patreon podcast. Maybe we'll have to subscribe for a day and go take a peek. But
I will not be doing that.
No, thank you. But I just know that afterwards everybody was like, "Dude, what the fuck was that? That wasn't a roast. That was just like you you insulting
so
everybody."
weird. Like, and is she one of the new ones or is she a vet?
She's a new threat, and
What
up
a
until
strange way. Again, it seems like now. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Ben, but
yeah,
I remember, like, in a hilarious way, a lot of these stories remind me a lot of my deployment. Because when I was deployed, we were in this like old Soviet era building, 4 dudes to a room, and it does end up being a little drama-y sometimes. And I remember after 5 months. You're 5 months, you're away from your family. It started getting, people really started kind of digging the knife into each other. Like it was getting real dicey. So I guess my only question is like, do you think, you're day 9, people have been away from their families for almost 10 days now. Maybe she's just feeling the pressure of the environment and lashing out? Or was there something more to this? Because it just seems so stupid to me to just be like, hey, let me just go around and just ice everybody. Like,
yeah. Let
why
me get
would
on
you
a
do that?
soapbox and put a huge target on my fucking back by being bitchy to the whole house. I don't think there was anything in her that was, in turmoil or she needed a release. I genuinely just think she saw this as an opportunity to continue playing the villain heel role that she's been. This is everything you see from Sydney in the confessionals is her in the, she plays the narcissistic, egotistical, I am better than everybody in the house, I'm cooler, I'm prettier, I'm more athletic. That's her angle. And this was one of the times where she chose to show that, not in the confessional, to the entire house. You know what I mean? And so actually let's touch on that really quickly while we're on the topic of her. So there's this scene where she is in the kitchen and she's listening to CT Olivia. They want to be a clique. Clicks are bad. I got to destroy clicks. And then she lists the clique that she's in. Like, that's the thing that I just can't, compute. It's like, you're only mad about the clique because you're not in it.
Yeah, it
That's
seems
it.
like she's like, I will break up all parties that are not my own.
Everything that doesn't involve
Which
her
is, to be fair, a perfectly valid strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally valid. And again, at this point in the game, her and I are on the same side of things. Like, I remember multiple conversations with Sydney where, she would express all this frustration about other cast members, calling them stupid, everybody else is dumb, to me, and I'd be like, yeah, for sure.
Dude.
And then she would
Okay,
go...
pause for a sec. Because anytime someone ever does that, they do it about you too. The second you turn
100%,
around.
yeah.
Yeah.
She
Like,
literally,
anytime.
After she'd have those chats with me, then she would go into the next room, pull God knows who, and be like, Ben's fucking stupid. which is funny. Like, that is pretty hilarious. But my God, dude, it just got, it's just insufferable. Like, I have such a hard time being around someone who is 24/7, all ego, all about
Negative.
themselves, and not even negative in a sense. It's just like you're so self-absorbed. And again, up until this point, it's not like she's sweeping all the dailies. It's not like she's on top of a peak socially or politically. She's playing a good game. Credit to her. She is skilled as a competitor. I mean, her swimming is fantastic. She's a D1 athlete. She won't let you forget it, but she's a D1 athlete. And so I have respect for what's respectable, but like just what rubs me the wrong way is this bitchy tone, man, and this nonstop narcissism. And the fact that, like, we'll get into it in maybe 2 weeks, but like, Yeah, we'll get into it in 2 weeks, but that's the thought on Sydney at the moment that I have is just like you are this confessional warrior, you are this confessional, juggernaut. But then in the house, you play this little mouse game where you go up and nibble on somebody, and then you turn around and go bitch about them, and it's like that's weak as fuck.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That's the game. That's the game. Fair enough.
I have met people before who are exactly like that. Like they'll talk shit
Yeah.
about these 5 people to you, and then turn around and they'll talk shit about these 5 people to someone else, but you're now one of the 5 people. And yeah, but to be fair though, and I'm curious to see how this develops because I haven't seen it. That is not a good strategy. That is a strategy that very rarely works in groups of people. So I'm curious to see how that shapes up. But let's continue.
Let's take it to the night out. So after the daily challenge, everybody's fucking DQ'd, and we do get... Dude, we're 3 for 3 on my bad dancing being in these episodes. Like, people complain, and they're like, Ben's not giving us anything. I'm like, I'm giving you terrible dance moves.
Respect my contribution, okay?
Yeah, this is what I was brought on for. But so we hit the night out, and Will is very funnily enough on alcohol restriction. So he's sitting there not drinking whatsoever.
They told him he's not allowed to have alcohol?
He got iced. He got
Wow.
cooked. He was donezo. And so he was a little bit pissed
Yikes.
about that. So I'm
He's
sitting
back
with...
in the Marine Corps. Just flash back to the Marine Corps.
He's just fucking. I know this feeling. But so I go sit with him, and we start chopping it up. And I think Gabe, Jeremy, Leroy. First off, dapped him up like a champ.
Yeah.
Y'all see that dap up? That was clean.
It's a very, that's a straight up, I would hate that compliment.
Yeah, you got mad heart. Oh, well, think about it. When we're commentating fights.
Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone got mad heart. Like, just weird. Like, bro, that's a child. Like, he's comparing you to a 10-year-old. Like,
Dude,
it's just a
he's
weird
9.
In the movie, he's literally a child. Like, so I don't know. It's just a weird. I don't know. It just felt like a backhanded compliment to me personally. Like he's infantilizing you while saying you have heart, and then mentioning that you did bare knuckle boxing. It's like those things don't complement each other. So I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. Like, yeah, he's a pretty young white boy. Like, I understand where he's coming from. Like, that you have that same vibe, I guess. But
I don't even think I look much like him.
I don't think so either. And it's not a compliment. That's why I'm saying it's like, okay, like, great, whatever. Like,
Listen, I love Leroy. He was very funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a little bit drunk in that clip.
Yeah. I guess you all are, to be fair.
Yeah, we're at the night out.
Except for Will.
That's why he's sitting there staring, bro. He's just like...
That's why he's so locked in. He's actually getting real tactical. He's like, no, actually, think about this, Ben. And you're like hey.
Whoa, Will, I didn't know you had this rational IQ in you. But yeah, so that night out was interesting because Johnny was sitting at a table like the entire night. Just by himself. Some people would flit over and come sit down. I sat down with him at one point for a little bit, but he was sitting just, boom, fixed in the middle. Olivia, some other people were off to the other side. Theo, Turbo, they had some really funny moments. I was sitting over with them for a little bit as well. But yeah, Johnny he's wearing the crown. He's really inside himself, I would say, and... Listen, there's been some dialogue online where it's like, okay, is this guy saying, I am the challenge at the nomination, and is he, having this cyclical war with Olivia? Sure, but is there also value in the fact that Olivia did kind of direct some people at him day zero and in his words, poison the well? I think there is some validity to that,
So when you say he's like sitting, he's not engaging, he's kind of letting people come to him, doing his own thing. Yeah. Is that what you mean by that?
For the most part. And then when everyone starts dancing, obviously everybody gets up and congregates, and has a good time out on the sort of like patio balcony area. But yeah, for the majority of that night, he was just like planted at one table, sitting down.
Just poopy, kind of in his feelings, you think?
No, I don't think he was even like having a negative vibe or frustrated energy. I think he was just chilling, and he didn't feel the need to go walk and talk or do the rounds, which is quite funny because let's take it to the nomination. he gets voted in. So America, I want to get your thoughts on this. So it's a girls' day. Nia is DQ'd automatically going into the arena, and then everybody votes America. When you're watching this episode, when you've seen the last couple episodes, do you think that made sense?
It kind of came out of nowhere for me, to be honest, because she, in my opinion, was kind of playing the gray man a little bit. And correct me if I'm wrong, but she picked Bananas. Did she not?
Yes.
So she picks him, kind of throws herself in the lion's den. I mean, you know what you're getting into in that regard. So I think maybe this was kind of a moment where she's going, okay, Nia's looking really weak right now. Bananas is going to be a big red flag, but like you said, you're kind of trying to time when you pick a potentially bad partner. So it kind of does make a lot of sense for her to be like, you know, Nia's looking weak right now. Whoever got her foot slashed, she's got her foot slashed.
Adrienne.
Adrienne. Yeah, it's like, I'm thinking if I'm going to get sent, I want to get sent now. Maybe now's the time to pick, you know, a very high profile Bananas partner. So maybe that's the thought process. Because, again, I mean, everybody's being like, I'm voting for America because... Not because of Johnny, because it's my own opinion. It's obviously because of Johnny. Like, Izzy's like, no, I'm doing this because America. Not that you're not amazing and everything, America. I love you. You're fantastic. But I want to vote for you.
Rookies.
And I was like, that doesn't make any. And then she's like, also, fuck you, Bananas. I was like, okay, yeah. Like it was.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
I just thought like the idea of Izzy saying like, you know, as rookies we need to prove ourselves, and so you need to go in there, prove yourself, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
No. You are, again, engineered by Olivia, and what she wants at the moment is to congregate around voting Johnny in. And everybody was beating around the bush. I was beating around the bush on that. I think I remember saying something to Johnny. I was like, yeah, man, this isn't at you. even though it was like, you know.
Definitely no question.
But so yeah, it's, I think, and then here's the other thing is like a lot of people wanted to vote Tay in as well. And that popped up on nomination day. And that kind of bugged me because she did just kind of go in and prove herself and had a really tough fight with Blue, showed she wanted to be in this house. And Derek, I think Chavez said this in the episode. I agree with it. Like, it doesn't feel right to send someone in back-to-back. At this point, like when we get later in the game and the numbers are, you really need the numbers on your side, sure, send the same person in over and over until they're gone. But like at this point, it's like, why? That's odd. And I will say the note on America being selected as the person, America came out of nowhere a little bit because during the night out, a lot of people's names were being thrown around. Cara was a little bit concerned. Cara asked me, she was like, can you just please make sure that if you hear my name floating around, you tell me, and, you know, just keep your head on a swivel. I was like, for sure. So I think a lot of the girls were a little bit nervous about what would happen. And then, on the morning of nomination, the room with Michaela, Ashley, Aviv, Nani, and Anissa, those 5 girls, I think planted this fucking America seed and made it seem like Nia asked for her, which, like, when that started to circulate through the house, everyone was like, what are you talking about? And unfortunately, because Nia and Gabe were in the kitchen when we were all lined up and this is steamrolling through everybody's ears, they couldn't confirm or deny, right? And so that's, I think, how a lot of this momentum gets swung, because Cara and I were like, yeah, you know, voting America, you know, sure, but like we were 15th place. We were just going to go with the majority. Like, her and I didn't have a defined idea of who we wanted to vote for. It didn't matter. We were just going to go, okay.
This
majority.
season so far has been a masterclass in starting rumors.
Yeah.
Like,
Which,
it is amazing how effective it can be to just be like, yeah, no, they said this. And then just watch the fire start. Like, hey, no, yeah, actually, they said they want to go in there. They're like, they're bored and don't want to be here and want to be part of the challenge. Like, it's like great.
Did you hear that Nia asked for America?
Yeah. Crazy, right? Anyways.
I guess we should do it.
I didn't start this rumor. Somebody told me. That's even better. Hey, somebody just came up to me and said, like,
It's like you're in the room alone, dude. What do you, Who came up to you? But yeah, so
because that happened with Justin too. Remember, it was like,
Happened with
Justin doesn't even want to be here. You know, like, so that's 2 for 2 that has been the strategy to work.
And it was just annoying because, you know, it's like, really, this is such a pivotal decision, and everybody waits till the last like 5 minutes to then be like, oh, I heard that, I'm gonna go with that, you know, sure. That's just stupid. But and then what was dumb is, like, after America gets selected, and then we all go back into the house, and maybe I'm incorrect on this, so please, someone feel free to inform me of your truth. But like, Nia was like, I said not her. She's like, I said not America. And everybody in that room, Anissa, Aviv, Ashley, Nani, they all were like dying on this hill about, no, Nia came in here and she said, I want her. So Nia is being like, dude, I didn't say this. And they're like, yes, she did.
Top 10 gaslighting. No, actually, you're crazy, and everybody in here knows you're crazy.
Last time I checked, we've got 5 people that say you said it.
You
and
said this.
just you that said you didn't. So
Interesting how that works.
it's so dumb, dude. It was so fucking stupid. But again, like, Cara and I didn't give much of a shit. Like, at that point, it was determined that America was going in. So we're like, yeah, we'll just, we'll fucking, vote her as well. Because it worked out, because it, again, gets Johnny in a vulnerable position. Even though, didn't fucking matter. Because let's take it to the arena. We get down there, and we walk in, and instantly, everybody in the peanut gallery is like, huh, how is this elimination going to work? Because you see the setting of it, and we're like, so maybe they grab the logs, and then they run around to the back and have to build something? Or maybe what they do is they have to cut the rope, and then they take the rope. There was all these ideas and speculation about how the elimination was going to work, and then I think most people were like, oh, maybe it's not even an elimination.
It's just a Russian doll in the middle, and they just open it up, and a doctor steps out. He's like, we ain't doing shit. Nia, you're done.
Yeah.
Like,
you're done, Joe. he comes in on like a drone.
Yeah.
Like,
you have no cartilage in either of your knees. It's a miracle you're standing. You're going home.
Tonight's elimination, beat an MRI.
Yeah. They just put them both in the MRI.
And then TJ blows the horn, and he's like, Nia, you failed. America, congrats on the win. That would have been a bad...
Also, we've discovered both of your legs are broken.
That would have been a pretty insane way to do it. Just
it would have been better than what they fucking did. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, so it's kind of a fake out in the sense that they set up this wall and these logs. Gabe and Johnny step to the side. America and Nia ready to battle it out. And then TJ, says, we got the results back. You aren't medically cleared. You're done. And that was that. That was kind of anticlimactic. I get. But devil's advocate. Let me bootlick for the production really quick.
Please let me back next season.
Guys. Guys, I promise I won't just be dancing in the background this season. I promise I'll argue more.
Just start throwing rocks at Gabe for some reason. You piece of shit.
I should have just, like, at 1 a.m. one night when he was sleeping, just, like, stand in front of him and just start beating the shit out of him.
Just start trying to suffocate him with a pillow.
What can I do? What can I do to get...
so Ben's actually been eliminated because he took this too far.
No, so America gets 2 points for winning this elimination, which is, like, the most hilarious... like, she did nothing and got 2 points.
I thought that was even hilarious too, because she literally gets she gets nominated. She's with Bananas, and they're literally like, "Here's 2 points for standing here."
Yeah, and Nia, you're gone.
It was perfect.
And that's like, that was a big shock to everybody, because a question from most people was, did you know that Nia's knee was as fucked as it was? And me, I didn't know. I had no clue. In fact, I said this yesterday, but before the elimination, right, because y'all walk in, walk out, I remember giving her a hug, and I was like, you got this. Like, you're taller, you're more athletic, you've got more experience, like, girl, girl power. And then she hugs me back, and she was so sad. You know what I mean? There was like just such a depressed energy.
She knew it was over.
She knew it was done. And it was heartbreaking, man. Like, Nia was somebody that I felt I really clicked with and connected with, somebody that I viewed as a person on my side, which was incredibly hard to feel in that house. We had a daily challenge together, and to see her like instantly leave the next episode I was like, fuck, am I like a bad omen? Is there like a Ben curse, about partners I have, and then them immediately leaving?
I don't know, but we'll find out, I guess.
Maybe.
That would be hilarious.
Okay. Talking about what could be next. Any more thoughts on maybe this episode, what you saw, what you didn't see?
No, not really. But that was pretty much it. Like I said, like from the top, it was not the impact was very minimal in this episode. It was more about kind of the drama, the relationship building and all that stuff than it was even from you guys. There just wasn't even that much strategy talk. Like, there wasn't even that much. It didn't seem. It was a party, and then the other party there was like brief touch on. Obviously you were upset, but then 5 minutes later they're like, "Oh, America," So it was it was just a weird. It just felt like a less planned out episode from the contestant side. Like, it just seemed like you guys were. I don't know. It seemed like you guys were off your game, honestly.
I think it was a time in the house where Gabe had just burned every bridge possible, and the goodwill was extinguished. That when it was a girls' day, and that was like back-to-back girls' day, and then obviously, the ending of him being the hangnail, there did feel like in the arena that night after Nia was gone that, okay, we kind of know what's going to be coming.
Business. Like, there was unfinished. Yeah. Like,
there was
Gabe,
karma.
you're up. You ever been to Europe, Gabe?
Coming.
You're up.
Yeah. You want to shit talk your partner? You want to start fights with Will? You want to spread rumors?
Yeah.
You're going in. Like that kind of was, I think, people's perspectives. But okay, let's take it to the preview for next week's episode because, and then we'll take it to a couple tweets because there might be a little bit of a Ben. Finally, some Ben drama.
Just guess willy-nilly because that woman.
Interesting. I think for people, Riley, you included, that might have been like, okay, this episode was light. Next week's episode has a lot of fucking meat on the bone, and I want to take it back to one quick moment.
Dude, you look crazy good there, dog. That is such a good clip of you.
The sleeveless turtleneck is out. It will be debuting in episode 4. And here's just the briefest of exchanges with Michaela, who's my partner next week.
I don't want to feel like I'm being used. How would I be using you?
We're going to talk about it next week. I got a lot to fucking say. I have got a lot to say. Because at this point in the game, right, what do you think about Michaela? We haven't seen a ton necessarily.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything of her.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I have no opinion of her. She's been a total gray man.
Yeah. Which, there is a similarity to her gameplay to a lot of other people in the house. Most are in the middle for, a good chunk to some extent. She is as well. But what I think kind of irks me a little bit, and it gets kickstarted in this episode, is Michaela will save everything for the nomination, right? That's when she will kind of express herself, and if she has a point to make at somebody, that's the time she's going to make it, which is all well and good, I think that concealing every card you have is smart, but there is this note of like a smarter than everybody tone I get that I don't think is completely justified. She's very smart, she's very intelligent, but that doesn't mean that she's impervious to making a stupid choice.
Well, let's leave it at that. Because I know I can sense that you're boiling to go on for another hour, so we'll have that next week. Do we have any tweets?
Yes, we have got one from Westy here. So from being the rookie picked last to winning his first ever elimination to being the male with the most points, his game needs to be studied. And then, clearing the daily challenge today, this is such an impressive start to this season for Justin, right? Getting voted in, getting betrayed, backstabbed instantly, killing Rogan in the elimination, winning this daily, performing really well in all the daily challenges. I don't know. I am impressed with his gameplay.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I kind of called that immediately, too.
Yeah.
I knew that he was being underestimated just because of his aesthetic, you could say. And he's proven everybody wrong. It's awesome.
Did we talk about the Sydney back and forth?
We did not.
Earlier? The tweet? Okay. We'll get into that at the end of this, just because it happened 20 minutes ago. So we spoke about her roast, and on Twitter, Challenge Stuffs reposted a Instagram story that I'd put up, which was saying, her roast was just being mean. It was just being cruel. It was being bitchy. And I said, what I can appreciate is that it's authentic. What you see is what you get. But sometimes it's just a bit too fucking much. She says, I think my balls are just bigger than yours. I hit her back with, if they were, you probably wouldn't have been as two-faced in the house. Which might have been a 0 to 100 response that I didn't need to make. Why you beefing? Angry about the Rockwell. Still am. Pencil in. I'll see you Sunday. So maybe we'll get some back and forth with Sydney. Verbally sparring with a public defender is not a great idea. She's way better at arguing than I am. But like we
I
talked
don't
about
know.
earlier.
Being rude doesn't make you badass. It doesn't mean that's not what balls are.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
So we'll see how that plays out. What does she mean by she'll see you Sunday? Does she have a podcast that she's going to drop or something?
Probably on her Patreon. Yeah, if you want to
so
pay money.
10 people might get really pissed off about that. Just kidding.
She's got like 12 or 15. I don't
15,
know.
yeah,
Who
okay,
knows?
yeah.
She has 7,000 subscribers to her
Imagine
Patreon.
she's just insanely wealthy. Gets
raking in the
100K a
dough.
month.
And we're just like, well, we've got 200 subs, dude.
Yeah, dude. You know what? I'll take our 200 subs over anything else.
Yeah. The DNR army is a strong
Kings
one.
and
but
queens.
I think that's our recap of episode 3. Any last thoughts, Riley, before we sign off?
Nope. I'm happy with that. Again, as always, guys, make sure to, if you're listening, hit that little 5-star button. If you're watching, smash the like and hit subscribe. We're here every week.
Violate that like button.
Yeah, please just destroy it. Or dislike it if you don't like the show. Please don't do that.
Yeah, well,
No, but yeah.
You can just not choose either.
We're here every week. There's going to be some more content coming very shortly and everything else. So, yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Take it easy. Peace.